Before we begin, we would like to mention that this video is for educational purposes only. It's not intended to target or shame anyone, but to help everyone be more aware of our tendencies. If you find yourself relating to the points we mention, remember that admitting our faults is the first step to correcting these self-defeating behaviors. Number 1, victim-minded people. Do you know what it means to have a victim mindset or to always be playing the victim? Have you ever come across those perpetual naysayers who are always looking to make excuses for their own bad behavior? This is what we call those who are forever pinning the blame on everyone but themselves, especially when things go wrong. They lack the emotional maturity to own up to their mistakes and hold themselves accountable. Their own choices and actions have led them to where they are now, but they refuse to see it. So no matter how hard you try, they're never going to change because in their eyes, nothing is ever their fault. Number 2, self-righteous people. Narcissistic, egocentric, and sanctimonious. Have your pick. Such self-righteous people are know-it-alls who think they're perfect and have nothing at all to change or improve about themselves. Well, good for them. In fact, most of them even think it's everyone else who needs to step up and get better, not them. If only they knew. Their pride and closed-mindedness leads to their defensive and condescending attitudes. Every time you even try to point out their flaws or their shortcomings, their severe unwillingness to change comes from deep down inside, where they're afraid to confront their own insecurities and see themselves as anything less than perfect. Number 3, deceptive people. Dishonesty and deception, the greatest evil for any relationship, right? Often charming and persuasive, especially when they need something from you. Deceptive people cannot be trusted because they act one way in public and another in private. They're two-faced and manipulative. They tell you lies, cheat you, and even trick you into siding with them. Alas, you end up doing favors for them or giving in to their demands without even realizing it. Oh boy. So next time your gut tells you someone asking for help can't be trusted, it's important to be sure of their intentions before you lend them a hand. Number 4, desperate people. Ruthless, cunning, and opportunistic. Call it what you want. A desperate person moves you to pity them and begs you for help. But beware, don't fall for it. These kinds of people are willing to do anything and everything just to get what they want, even if it means stabbing you in the back. They don't respect your boundaries. Rather, they abuse your generosity, time, and energy. The worst part is they're always asking for favors, but never paying you back, and they have no problem using your good nature against you. So instead of wasting your time trying to help someone like this, staying as far away as you can is probably the way to go. Number 5, disloyal people. Are they quick to get angry at you over the littlest things? Or maybe they pick fights with you over nothing. Some people are just too disloyal for you to help. Though you may think that they're your friends, the truth is, you don't want someone disloyal in your life. They'll take other people's sides over yours or talk about you behind your back. They're unwilling to change and be better because they don't really care about you enough to try. They're more likely to lose interest in you and move on to something else rather than own up to their faults and learn from them. Number 6, doubtful people. You might as well try moving a wall because it's that useless trying to help such people. Difficult to understand and accommodate. They're skeptical of everyone and everything good that comes their way. They're distrustful, pessimistic, harsh, and judgmental. And they never go along with any of your positivity, gratitude, or optimism because they'd rather sulk and criticize everything. And the worst part is, it probably won't be long before you start acting the same way too. Because if you get too close to people like this, they could end up getting in your head and filling you with doubt as well. Number 7, quitters. Finally, but perhaps most importantly, if you have someone in your life who's a notorious quitter, you're better off staying away from them than trying to change them. Whether it's a relationship, a career, or a personal goal, they can't commit to anything to save their life. No amount of kindness, generosity, or encouragement will get them to change their ways because they're so stuck in their loser mentality. They think that whatever they'll do, they'll either fail or need to work hard to succeed, so they'd rather quit while they're ahead than try in the first place. They're flaky, inconsistent, unmotivated, and usually just good at the beginning. It just isn't right giving your all for someone who isn't even willing to put themselves out there. So if they themselves aren't willing to change their ways and be better, then holding on to them will only leave you hurt, frustrated, and emotionally drained. And life is too precious to waste in the wrong company. We hope we were able to give you insight into some of the ways that you might be wasting your time and energy trying to help certain kinds of people. Do any of these describe your experience? Or did any of these points describe you? Leave a comment down below about your encounters with them if you'd like. Please feel free to share any thoughts you have as well. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button and share it with those out there still battling. According to statistics, only a small percentage of you who watch our videos are actually subscribed. If you're not subscribed yet and you enjoy what you see, do consider hitting the subscribe button. This encourages YouTube's algorithm in promoting more of our mental health content to more people out there.
How do the people around you make you feel? Are you truly happy in life right now? Having a loving and caring family, partner, and friends is important to keep you happy and fulfilled in life. However, like anything in life, it's impossible to have only the good things without experiencing the bad things, and having bad and toxic friends has always been a very common occurrence. Toxic relationships can be very damaging for your overall well-being, so it's very important to cut the toxic relationships off as soon as possible. With this in mind, here are 5 types of people you should stop being friends with. 1. The friend who always needs something. Does your friend only ever talk to you when he or she needs something? This is a very telling sign that you have a toxic relationship with that person. Don't get this wrong, it's okay to need things from your friends from time to time, but a friend who is constantly asking for things from you, be it money, class notes, or a ride, without giving anything back, is certainly someone who will not contribute to your happiness. True friendships involve mutual interest, and not one person just taking from the other. Additionally, people tend to change their relationship priorities at different times in their lives, and it's normal for your friends to have less time for you when they start working on a personal project, or when they find a partner. What's not okay is only looking for you when they need something, and then giving you 0 priority and disappearing once they get what they want. That only shows that rather than being interested in you, they only see you as someone who they can take from. So, cutting these people out of your life will allow you to spend more time and effort on people who are actually interested. 2. The friend who gaslights you. Have you ever had a friend who constantly blames you whenever something bad happens in the relationship? If the answer is yes, you might need to consider that your friend is gaslighting you. Gaslighting refers to the act of manipulating a person to question their thoughts, memories, and things happening around them. Make sure that you compare what your friend is saying with the way they act. For example, if your friend says that they care for you after blaming you, but treats you very badly, chances are that they are only saying that they care for you as a way to gaslight you. 3. The friend who never reaches out to you. Do you feel like you are the one doing everything in a friendship to maintain it? Are you always the one who has to make the plans to meet with your friend? A very common trait of a toxic friendship is a one-sided investment of time and effort. If and when they decide to answer your texts, they also make you feel like they are doing you a favor. If you can relate to that situation, then it might be a good idea to find a way out of the relationship. Being in a friendship where you have to do everything and then they make you feel like they're doing you a favor can be very exhausting and make you feel underappreciated. 4. The friend who always talks about themselves. Keeping a balance in relationships can be considered impossible, so accepting that some things will be unfair in friendships is very common. However, do you feel like your conversations with your friend always end up being about them? Even when you talk to them about a problem that you're having, they turn it around so that the conversation ends up being about them. You might be looking for someone whom you can vent your problems to, only to find yourself being the one listening to your friend's problem. Having this kind of friend can be frustrating, since you will feel like you cannot rely on them or tell them anything, while you always have to give them your time and attention. 5. The friend who always talks down on you. Do you feel like your friend constantly says things to put you down or make you feel inferior? If the answer is yes, then the best you can do is stop being friends with that person. It's normal to feel like you are not in a place that you wish to be when one of your friends gets a promotion or has achieved something you have not. After all, this feeling is one of the main driving forces for success. However, it's completely different if your friend is the one who comes to you and brags about the promotion with the intent of making you feel like you are inferior. You are better off with no friends than with friends who enjoy making you feel inferior constantly. If any of the situations addressed above sound familiar to you, then reevaluating who you should truly consider a friend and reorganizing your priorities is the way to go. After all, you wouldn't want to be investing most of your time and effort into nourishing a toxic friendship that will only negatively affect your overall well-being. We hope we were able to give you insight into how some people are just not your friends at all. Do any of these describe your experience? How did you find out? Leave a comment down below about your encounters with them if you'd like. Please feel free to share any thoughts you have as well. If you find this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button and share it with those out there being taken advantage of.